What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today, I've got a story time that was sent in to me about this dude's boss's son, who is a Minecraft kid who ended up stealing his dad's Rolex. Yeah, I don't really know if there's any reason you would need to steal a watch for Minecraft, but this guy found a way to do it. And I thought it would be a very entertaining story for y'all, because I know you guys love the Minecraft Kid story time. So, yeah, before we get into it, be sure to press the like button, or no joke, no scam. Your kid is going to steal your Rolex and pawn it for Minecraft ranks. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Alright, so this guy had just recently started a new job, so he didn't really know the people who were like in charge of him that well, but he knew that his boss was a little bit older, had a son that was around his age. He had like just gotten out of college, so he knew his kid was at least an adult. But he was way older than his kid, you know? It was like he had a kid when he was 50, so he was 65, 68, 67, whatever it was. He was way older than his kid, so he was a little bit out of touch. And one day, his boss comes into his office. He hasn't really interacted with him much yet. And he's like, hey, what is Minecraft? Do you mind explaining to me what Minecraft is? And he's a little bit confused why his boss is sitting here asking him what Minecraft is. So he's like, yeah, sure, I'll explain it. And so he explains that it's a video game and what the video game is. And the boss is like, well, is there any reason that my son would be screaming and throwing things over Minecraft? Like, is it an intense game? Is it scary? And he doesn't want to come out and be like, that's really weird, because obviously it's his boss's kid, but in his mind, he's like, yeah, that's a little bit of a different reaction to Minecraft, you know? At least in my opinion, I've always viewed Minecraft as one of the more relaxing video games. Like, if you want to really not stress about it and feel like there's winning or losing, it's a solid game to play. Just avoid dying and you're pretty alright. But whatever, he tells his boss that, like, that's not a normal reaction to Minecraft in his experience, but he's not really sure. And then his boss asks a weird question, which is also, well, how much money does it cost? And Minecraft is also one of those games I feel like is really cheap. At least it was. I bought my version like back in the beta, so whatever. I think it was like $8. But even now, 35 bucks for a game like Minecraft that you can play as much as Minecraft, it's solid. So he tells him, like, I think you just pay $30 one time. And his boss has this look of confusion on his face and is like, well, that's weird because my son keeps asking for money all the time to get these thing called ranks. And he starts explaining to his boss that, like, there's an online side of Minecraft where you can get on servers and buy ranks and whatnot, but it's not necessary. It's not like his son needs it for the game or whatever. And his boss is like, yeah, that's what I thought. Plus $5,000 seems a little bit insane. And he's like, $5,000 on server ranks? What is he, trying to buy knighthood in, like, the United Kingdom? I don't know, I've never heard of a Minecraft server where you can donate $5,000 for a rank. But sure enough, he tells his boss, like, yeah, I don't think your son needs to give $5,000 to a Minecraft server. I've never really heard of it. And after that, his boss is like, all right, well, thank you. And he walks out, doesn't really say anything else about it. And he's like, all right, well, that was a little bit awkward. But later in the day, before he goes to lunch, his boss is like, hey, come here, and calls him into his office. And he starts saying that, you know, he appreciates the advice, he's not very good at video games, and apparently he had asked his kid, and his college's Minecraft server was the thing he wanted ranks for. And dude, I'm sorry, college is already expensive enough. I highly doubt the college is aware that the people in charge of their Minecraft server are charging like $5,000 for ranks, but my goodness. You're already shelling out like 60 grand for tuition. Your kid comes along, Dad, I need $5,000 more so I can get the dopest Minecraft ranks imaginable. And so, whatever, he's like, yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of a college server charging for ranks. I've never heard about that, but whatever. Trying to be very nice about it, because once again, it's his boss who he doesn't know that well. And yeah, the entire thing is very fishy, but like, you can't really just go roasting your boss's kid. You probably just shouldn't roast anyone's kid. I feel like that's a great way to get punched in the face. They're not very close. He doesn't want to get fired, so he just kind of leaves it. And so the next day he comes in and his boss is being really nice to him and he's like, awesome, you know, I gave him some honest advice about the Minecraft stuff. Now my relationship with the boss is better. And that day, his boss says, hey, will you go to lunch with me? In similar situation, he doesn't want to say no to his boss asking him to lunch, so he says sure. So he drives over there, they sit down, and they start eating, and he's talking to his boss, and the person who sent this to me happens to be a big fan of watches. So they noticed that their boss had like this old Rolex on, and they mentioned it and said it was a cool watch, and him and his boss had this conversation about it, and apparently it had been a gift from his boss's grandfather to him when he had like gotten this stake in the company, and it was very sentimental to him because his grandfather had worn it every day, and it was a very cool watch. And I don't know, it was just a cool combination, and it stood out to the guy because he like just had a conversation about a mutual interest with his boss, right? So they go back to work, he finishes up that day normally, goes home, and when he comes back the next day, he doesn't expect to have to talk to his boss, but his boss comes over and is very clearly upset, like almost looking like he had been sitting in his car before work, sobbing his eyes out and says, "Follow me." And he doesn't know what's going on, but when your boss like walks up to your desk looking super stressed out and says, "Follow me, I gotta tell you something," you're like, "Ah, crap, I'm probably getting fired." So he goes into his office and he says, "You know how my son was asking for money for those Minecraft ranks?" And he's like, "Yeah. Well, I told him I wasn't going to give it to him, and so last night I come home after going out on a date with my wife and my Rolex was gone." And he's like, "All right, so did someone steal your Rolex?" And he says, "Yes, my son took my Rolex, which was a gift from his grandfather, you know, someone that's not here anymore, took it to a pawn shop and pawned it for way less than it was worth." I bet you the guy who owned the pawn store was sitting there like, there's no way this idiot kid is actually about to sell me this Rolex for this price. But sure enough, he had pawned it and used the money to buy some server ranks. Which is absolutely bonkers to me, dude. Imagine rifling through your dad's stuff trying to find something expensive enough for you to sell it for video game ranks. And he doesn't even know how to react because it's insane enough to like steal a Rolex in the first place from anyone. But to take a Rolex from your dad that has sentimental value because it's from your grandpa, take it to a pawn store, sell it, and then just go home and blow it on Minecraft ranks. It's so next level stupid, he didn't even know what to say to his boss. Really stole great-grandpa's Rolex, pawned it for Minecraft. Just imagine thinking that was an even trade for a second, dude. I'm sorry, but there's no way these Minecraft ranks are gonna mean anything to you in like a year. Maybe a year. Like, there's no way it's gonna mean anything to you in 5 years. I can guarantee it. I used to care a lot about my CSGO rank. Haven't touched the game in a bit. Don't really care anymore. Like, I feel like taking things from your family members that have sentimental value and pawning them for a game you're not going to care about is always a bad math equation. So he doesn't know how to react, so he just starts telling his boss, like, "Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that." And his boss starts telling him the story. Even though he didn't really ask about how his son had been bugging him for money again, his dad had said no, and his son had gone out of his way to be like, "Well, how much is the watch?" Which is how he knew when he came back and it was missing that his son has taken it. And so he had kind of told his son, like, "Well, it's not for sale, you know, you'll probably get it one day when I pass." And when he heard that, like, "Oh, the Rolex will be mine when I pass away," he had looked at his dad and said, "Well, if it's gonna be mine when you die anyways, how about you just hand it over now?" So it's not even like he had sneakily taken the Rolex and tried to pawn it off as somebody else broke into the house and stole it. He was really telling his dad, like, "How about you hurry up and die so I can have this Rolex so you can get me some Minecraft ranks. Like, just give me my inheritance now." I don't really feel like wanting an inheritance is very good karma, because if you want your inheritance really bad, that means you want them to croak. And I feel like praying for somebody to die so you can get your money is just not very good karma in the universe. That's just really not how it works, too. If something's willed to you, you can't say, "Well, it's gonna be mine one day anyways, so just hand it over." Like, the person's alive, they're still using it. And they're especially not gonna give you this sentimental item if you're basically telling them that you're gonna take it to a pawn store and sell it for some video game ranks. Dude didn't even know what Minecraft was 3 days before, and now his son's like, just go ahead, hand me my trust fund now, I'll have myself a great time. I would never, like, if I had a trust fund, that would be sick. What a stress reliever. You just got a chunk of money sitting there. If you have a trust fund, though, be smart with it. Don't go blowing it on Minecraft ranks. Oh, just give me my inheritance now, Dad. You and Mom just go ahead and die. I got it from here. Don't worry. I'm gonna be the best Minecraft player you've ever seen. Obviously, his boss is very upset, so they start trying to think of, like, how to get it back. And it's really obvious to the subscriber what to do, so he's like, well, you should probably go down to the pawn store and buy it back. And the boss is like, do you think they'd sell it back to me? And clearly he had never been to a pawn store before, because, yeah, they're gonna sell it to you, but that's gonna hurt. Imagine your grandpa gives you a gift, your kid's dumb enough to go sell it, and then you have to go and fork over like a solid chunk of money. I'm pretty sure that most places like have to give it back if it's stolen. Can't they get in a lot of trouble for that? I mean, technically it was stolen from your son, so if you tell them it was stolen and they report it, then he's gonna get in trouble. I don't know why they didn't really just go down there and say what happened and get it back, but probably something in like not wanting to get his son arrested for theft or whatever. So he has to go with the boss to the pawn store, and they walk in there, and the boss does try to like explain it to the guy, but the guy is basically like, look, unless you want me to file a report and say exactly what your son did and him potentially face the consequences for it, then you're gonna have to buy it back because I gave your kid money for it. So he knew how much the guy had given his kid for the watch, and he says that he's gonna charge the guy double what he paid for it. And he's like, dude, what do you mean? You bought it for my kid for X. And the guy's like, yeah, but, you know, I gotta make some money. It was like the guy kind of knew that there was nothing the guy could do, really. Like he had to buy it back from him or turn his son in for stealing his Rolex and pawning it for Minecraft ranks. Even if you're super rich, it is possible to fail at parenting. If anything, I feel like having super loaded parents that, you know, I don't know, apparently make you think stealing a Rolex is just a perfectly normal thing to do. I feel like usually those types of parents, the kids don't know how to act even more. Something about like, I just gave my kid everything and now they think that they're entitled to everything. It's like, gee, I wonder how that works. Either way, of course, the guy ended up paying for it because it's not like he's about to walk out there without his grandfather's watch. Who knows if he comes back in later that day, if it's gone, you know, if somebody else was going to come in and buy it. So he has to pay for it, gets absolutely finessed by the dude at the pawn store, and like I said, I'm sure usually if someone steals your stuff, then you can get the police involved. But if you get the cops involved, it's not like you could be like, hey, investigate this, but then don't get angry at the person who did it because it's my kid and he's just dumb. He ended up getting his grandpa's watch back, they get back in the car and they go back, and like his boss isn't mean to him now, but it's almost like his boss has just been so embarrassed by that situation and how much he knows about it that he's just kind of been like avoiding him. And it's not like he's making him do extra work. He's been really nice. He's gotten better assignments, but it's like his boss doesn't want to have to go talk to the guy who knows that his son stole his like grandpa's Rolex from him, and then pawned it for Minecraft ranks. And still, the one question that I have in all of this, obviously, how do you think that like that's a good idea? But on top of it, what Minecraft ranks in the world could possibly be worth $5,000? I'm sorry, if you told me that I had a Minecraft like rank that made me magically able to build anything I could imagine, it still would not be worth $5,000. You could give me God rank on the most popular Minecraft server on the planet. It would still not be worth $5,000. There is nothing on this planet that you could attach to a Minecraft rank that would make it be worth $5,000, especially if you just don't have $5,000. I guess if you're Elon Musk and you just feel like buying the most expensive thing you can, then like, hey, go for it, whatever, you got $600 billion more dollars. But you gotta steal stuff from your parents to pay for the Minecraft rank? Then you don't have enough money for the Minecraft rank. This is almost as simple as one time I was on like Facebook for 10 seconds to look at something that my grandma wanted me to look at. And there was an ad for buy now, pay later for Papa John's pizza. And it's like, guys, I don't give financial advice. I'm not a financial expert. If you can't afford the Papa John's pizza in cash, don't borrow money to buy the Papa John's pizza. The same concept applies to Minecraft ranks. And there's just no way any Minecraft rank is worth over like $100. I'm sorry. It's just not feasible. You can't give me a reason that you need to spend $1,000, not even on Minecraft, but a rank for one server. Not every server, just the one. I don't know. If I was the guy's boss, I'd probably be a little embarrassed too. I wouldn't be like trying to go hang out with that dude, you know? Oh, yeah. Remember that one time where you made me explain Minecraft to you, and then the next day your kid stole your expensive watch that had a bunch of sentimental value, took it to a pawn store, and then we had to go back and you got finessed and paid double the price that your kid sold for it because he didn't know what it was worth? I don't know. You probably wouldn't want to be reminded of that all the time either, even though none of us have been there, thankfully, and hopefully we never do. But on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to press the like button. I would really, really appreciate it. And beyond that, if you guys like listening to these, you want to listen to like the audio format, I post them on Spotify, link down below, and of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. If we could get this video to 4,000 likes, I'd really appreciate it. You know, I might do an extra 12 days of Scrubs video if we can get the likes up on this bad boy. But that is coming up, and yeah, on that note, that'll really do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.